Good, Rebecca?
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Happy New Year. Hope everybody's, like we said earlier before some of you got on, getting ready for the snow because it looks like it's coming regardless of what we do. So we'll go ahead and officially call this meeting to order. And as a reminder, even with virtual Zoom meetings, workforce development boards are required to comply with public meetings law. Therefore, we need to be able to hear you and your vote to be in compliance with the law. Also, I want to remind everybody that this is a live stream meeting that is on YouTube. So when I call your name, first things first, please say here, and we'll get started. Jessica Otten.
Here.
And if I butcher a name, please let me know so I don't do it next time, or try not to do it next time. Kathy Barr.
Here.
Chuck Billings. Okay, Michael Birkmeyer.
Here.
Whitney Brasington.
Here.
Tara Brosa.
Here.
Sherry Carpenter.
Here.
Alicia Colbreth-Setzer.
Here.
Jeff Dreyer, I am here. Brandon Edwards. Okay. Ben Garrett.
Here.
Garrett is here. Stephanie Greer will not be in attendance. Okay. Edward Henson.
I'm here.
Okay. Kristen Neubauer. Jason Nunn.
I'm here.
Okay. Lynette Orbovich. Lynette, you might be, I know you were here. I saw you.
Yeah,
Maybe-
she's having trouble getting in, so I'm trying to help her get back in.
I'm going to count her as here. Matthias Perel. Brian Peterson.
Mr. Chairman, Brian Peterson just sent in that he was called into a COVID meeting and will not be able to attend. So he let us know that he was not going to be present.
Okay. Thank you. Scott Reese. Jennifer Schaefer.
Here.
Rich Voisinette.
Here.
Amber Westall Briggs.
I'm here.
Debbie Woodard.
I'm here.
Okay. Let me try one more time for those that did not answer. Chuck Billings. Brandon Edwards. Kristen Neubauer. Matthias Perel. Scott Reese. Did I miss any board members that are on the call that I did not call out?
Yes, John Irwin, Allegheny.
Okay.
Let the record reflect that Commissioner John Irwin is a consortium board member, not a workforce board member.
Okay.
Excuse me, I didn't know my status.
Yeah, you're the consortium, John, but we're glad you're with us. And
Absolutely.
Chief Elected Official Keith Elmore sends his regret from the consortium board that he will not be able to join us.
Okay. Well, thank you all for that. Our next point on the agenda is approval of the September minutes. Everyone should have received a copy and hopefully has gone over those. And I need to do another call, another roll call to see if we approve or will approve these minutes. So here we go again. If you approve, say I approve. Jessica Alton.
I approve.
Kathy Barr.
I approve.
Michael Birkmeyer.
I approve.
Whitney Brasington.
I approve.
Tara Brosa.
I approve.
Sherry Carpenter.
I approve.
Alicia Colbreth-Setzer.
I approve.
Jeff Dryer, I approve. Ben Garrett,
I approve.
Edward Hinson,
I approve.
Jason Nunn,
I approve.
Lynette Orbovich.
Lynette just sent an email saying that she approved.
Okay. Jennifer Schaefer,
I approve.
Rich Voisinette,
I approve.
Amber Westall Briggs,
I approve.
and Debbie Woodard.
I approve.
All right, record shows that everybody present has approved September 21's meetings. Thank you very, very much. Minutes. Okay. We have some new board members to welcome. And hopefully they are here. If you are, well, I think Chuck Billings and Ben Garrett, you both did say they were here. Okay, that's great. So gentlemen, I'm going to give you each an opportunity to tell us a little about yourself first, but in your packet is also an oath of office that this board has adopted back in October of 2005. And at this point in time, even though I can't see you raise your hand, I assume you're raising your hand fully, and you hereby affirm to faithfully execute my responsibilities as a member of the High Country Workforce Development Board and to abide by the board's philosophy and value statement. I will uphold the board's standards by representing the board in the community at large and by avoiding conflicts of interest both within and outside of workforce development board meetings. If you do, say I do, and please sign your and date your member agreement.
Do.
Ben says I do. And Chuck?
I don't think he was here.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Chuck Billings is not in attendance.
Oh, did I miss him? Am I just not remembering? Okay. All right.
Jeff, where is the thing I'm supposed to sign again in the packet, you say?
Yeah, the packet that Rebecca sent out to everybody. There should be an oath of office in there. If not, we can get you, Rebecca, would you see if he has trouble, if you could send him another one, please?
Yep, I emailed that separately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
emailed that separately. And Scott Reese was able to join us, so he has joined us.
All right. Welcome, Scott. Okay. So you should have a separate email, Ben, it's at some point from Rebecca with that oath of office. Ben, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
I've lost my video.
We can see you. We can hear you.
Shoot, what did I do? Ah, there we go. I work at Gardner Glass Products in North Wilkesboro. Been here for 18 years. Work in the finance department. Prior to that, I worked at Lovett Company, which was a local meat distributor here in North Wilkesboro also. Prior to that, I was with Holly Farms Tyson Foods. So I've been in the Wilkes County, I guess, workplace for 30 some odd years with quite a bit of experience in dealing with the different labor markets, truck drivers, factory workers, et cetera. So as far as that goes, I'm married. I have one son who's currently, he graduated undergrad at NC State. NC State. I want to make that clear. He's currently at Carolina in physical therapy school. So about to get him off the payroll here before long. I'm happy to be here. Hope I can be a positive contributor.
Okay, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the board. All right. Item number 5 on your agenda, we're going to postpone till the March meeting as we're updating that policy, the conflict of interest statement. We will Move along to item 6, which is our presentations. Ariana Williamson, who's project coordinator from Wilkes Recovery Revolution. Wilkes Recovery Revolution is a nonprofit recovery community organization that values the perspectives of those with lived experiences and sharing the potential of recovery from addiction. Project coordinator Ariana Williamson spoke to the board in March of last year about the Recovery Friendly Workplace Initiative and is here today to provide an update on the program. Ariana.
Thank you, Jeff. You stole my first part of my introduction, so I can just jump right in now. That makes it a lot easier. So as he mentioned, I did present in March of last year. Can everybody see my screen now? Okay, and so what we were doing in March was a lot of research and development. We were creating a program to share with you, and we are officially at the stage where we have our first 5 early adopters, and we are initiating this program. And of course, High Country Workforce Development Board is one of our first early adopters and will act as a champion of this initiative. And so kind of a little bit of background about how it came to be. The project that I coordinate with Wilkes Recovery Revolution is called Project How, Healing Our Workforce. And so we break down barriers to meaningful and gainful employment for people affected by substance use. And it became clear very quickly that we needed to do the same thing for workplaces affected by substance use. And so these initiatives are going on nationwide. And we're connected with over 25 different states and many more initiatives therein that are doing this work. And so what our community's initiative has decided to do is we set forward the goals of combating the stigma associated with recovery, connecting employers with necessary resource and not just resources, but resource navigation services for their valued employees, and combating the financial burden of substance use on the workplace. So recovery in and of itself is defined by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration as a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential. To me, that sounds like an ideal employee. And so how do we get more of our employees who are struggling with substance use into recovery, and how do we employ more job seekers who are in recovery? 70% of people who are using substances are already employed. So that means that there really isn't a workforce or an employer who isn't affected by this issue. So these initiatives are ways to bring workplaces into being a solution, part of the solution for addiction and recovery from substance use. 1 in 3 individuals are affected by substance use. So again, even if it's not somebody who's using substances, one of your employees could be struggling to support a loved one and need resources for that. They may be struggling and that could affect their work performance. And so how do we address those issues, and how do we navigate the resources available to them? So the annual economic impact of substance use on the American economy is anywhere from $442 billion as per the Surgeon General, or the White House has just put out a figure of $698 billion. So that's a large amount of an impact on the economy. But workplaces are really incurring a lot of that cost, and that's through loss of productivity, missed days, healthcare costs. And so how do we solve these issues? Right now, what we're seeing mainly is either the offer of treatment and leave, or a termination of employment. And so there's got to be something in the middle. And we have been successful in working with employers here in Wilkes County on creating solutions that are in the middle that help you to retain and not incur that cost of turnover and retraining, and to keep your valued employees in your employ and keep them productive and healthy. Employees in recovery can save employers $8,500 per year. About half of that is in avoiding the costs of retraining and turnover. A new figure came out, and this is a wide range, but anywhere from 25 to 200% of the cost of a salary per employee could be what you incur with turnover and retraining. So if we're able to retain a healthy staff, we're able to demonstrate that we want our staff to be healthy and to stay on with us and to tenure through our workplace, then our bottom line is improved. So employees also miss 13.7 fewer days of work than their coworkers in active use. That figure stays at about 5 days for those who are unaffected. So we're seeing that people in recovery are more productive. If I clicked on here, and I don't want to take too much time to do this, but this takes us, the National Safety Council has a lot of data. In fact, every piece of data on this page here, besides what is cited to the Surgeon General, is from the National Safety Council. They have a lot of data around this issue, and one of the tools they've put together is a calculator. It takes the industry you work in, the location of your workplace, and the number of employees you have, and it breaks down the cost of substance use from missed days, loss of productivity, healthcare costs, and it shows you exactly what you're spending on not addressing these issues. I'll definitely be sure to share these resources with everybody so that you can look in for your individual workplaces. So definitely there's the why. Why are we doing this? And of course, those are the reasons that it improves our bottom line as employers and as businesses. But the why in terms of what it does for individuals and what it does for your employees is another motivating factor. Let me get us here to an interesting clip. The New Hampshire state-run recovery-friendly workplace initiative was the first of its kind. It was initiated by Governor Sununu, and it's been around for a number of years. So a lot of the data we have of the success of these programs is coming from New Hampshire. And so these video clips that I'll show here are from their initiative.
My name is Kevin Thompson. My recovery journey started about 12 years ago. That's when I realized I had a problem with alcohol. It's something in the past for myself that I felt I, have not been able to be honest about with my employer for fear that I'm going to be treated differently, or I'm not going to get a job, or I'm not going to get a promotion. And I think a lot of people in my situation feel the same way.
GenFoot is a Canadian-owned company that's been in the outdoor footwear business since 1898. When I had an employee in the late 2000s that I fired for reporting to work under the influence of alcohol several times. Tragically, she never stopped drinking and passed away from liver failure within 6 months of losing her job. I heard about the RFW through the North Country Health Consortium here in Littleton. They were hosting an orientation and invited several local employers. I enthusiastically supported the initiative from the moment of that orientation, when it opened my eyes to the fact that I could help employees with SUDs. Since we became a recovery-friendly workplace, we've had 5 employees come forward with an SUD who we've helped get into recovery and continue to help them stay in recovery.
Myself and one of my coworkers have volunteered at GenFoot to be on what they call their Helping Hands Committee. Another employee does not have to necessarily go to the plant manager when they're seeking help. They can come to us. They can come to another employee. I want to have my hand out when people need it, just like other people had their hand out when I needed it. GenFoot supports that and encourages that, and I just think that's amazing.
We really feel that the Recovery Friendly Workplace Initiative is a model that should be replicated nationwide. It's the first of its type of strategy that really engages businesses in addressing issues related to addiction. So ensuring that workplaces are able to be part of the solution is really important.
So one of the things that really strikes me about this video that I want to bring to everyone's attention is the way that that workplace in particular really innovated this work. They have the support of a recovery community organization. They have the support of United Way, which houses this initiative for New Hampshire. So they have resource navigators through 211. They have peer support specialists who help people enter and maintain recovery. But what this individual did was decide, I'm not the person that people are going to want to come and speak to when they're struggling with substance use. So then how do we bridge that gap? How do we build that trust, which is a long-term commitment? It is a relationship building, conversations. There's lots of activities involved. So to bridge that time, he identified somebody on his team, somebody that is a peer to other employees who may be struggling, who could help and support them. That's definitely something we encourage, is to identify the individual within your workplace who is going to address these issues so that they are the most trained, the most appropriate, the most available to employees as a resource for them to come to. I'm not going to play this next clip, but again, I will provide these slides so that you guys can review them when you want to. This is another testimonial from employers just discussing the ways in which it's changed their bottom line and it's changed the workplace culture. Harvard Business did a review recently of, I think it was 1.4 million Glassdoor reviews of why people were leaving their workplaces. And the number one reason, over wages and benefits, the number one reason was workplace culture. So creating this culture of safety, of cohesiveness, of the ability to speak out when you need help is so valuable right now, especially in these times that we are facing with, they're calling it the Great Resignation, where a lot of people are leaving their jobs, on top of the increased need to have trained staff applying and coming on as job seekers. So how does this initiative work? How do you engage and what will you receive? Again, the 3 goals are to combat stigma, to connect workplaces with valued resources, and to reduce the burden of the financial burden of substance use on the workplace. So the first thing that you'll do is submit a letter of intent to us, letting us know that you are interested in receiving more information, an outreach presentation similar to this, or for me to come to your workplace so that we can discuss moving forward. There's then an orientation. We have put together a toolkit for employers, and it is 30 pages long. They're not all long content, but it has things like who helped form this toolkit, where is the information sourced, all the way to, and I'll get into more of the pages of the toolkit in this presentation, but all the way down to sample language and how to communicate concern with an employee. So we will train on this toolkit so that you're best equipped to use it, as well as the methods to engage with me. We have a team of peer support specialists here at Wilkes Recovery Revolution. If you have someone in crisis, we will send someone out to you to help navigate that situation. If you have somebody that you don't know how to approach the conversation at all, we can discuss the best practices for approaching somebody who's using substances, what you as an organization are able to offer and what's available to them within this community, how to get them into treatment, if detox is necessary. All of these difficult conversations can be approached with us before you approach the employee, so that you have the best chance possible of A, getting them to the necessary resources, and B, retaining them. A lot of the anecdotal feedback we get from peers who come through our center is that once an employer or a manager is approaching them about their substance use, that they know or they assume the conversation is going to end in termination. And so a lot of them just leave. So how do we avoid that? And how do we keep that employee aware that we care and that we want to help them, and also healthy and productive within our workforce? And so then there's implementation, and the first step of implementation is a declaration to your staff. So sending out a letter to everyone, letting them know that your commitment to the workplace culture is that we are recovery friendly, that it's a safe space to identify as being in recovery. It's a safe space to come for resources so that you can enter recovery. Generally just letting people know that we would rather help you than lose you. So there's additional steps where we can offer trainings. We have a facilitator on staff who trains in recovery coach certifications, language matters trainings. And so we create very robust curriculums based on those curriculums. We do offer those, and we prioritize offering our recovery friendly workplaces positions in those trainings so that they have the option to certify recovery coaches on their staff if they want to improve their language so that they're causing less harm to those in recovery or those using substances in their workplace. But we also create custom trainings that use that expertise in that curriculum to then allow, first of all, support between employees to occur, individuals to be able to take care of themselves a little bit better and to know what their options are, as well as for HR management to be better equipped to discuss these topics with their staff. I talked about a lot of this just now. We also are committed to hosting job fairs that are exclusive to recovery-friendly workplaces, or to create priority seating for at job fairs or summits for recovery friendly workplaces. We'd like for our RFWs to network and communicate so that they're able to innovate together and come up with solutions together. We have free contracted peer support services. I always say that a resource guide is only as relevant as the resources stay available. So to have, a resource guide on paper is one thing, but to have access to a team of resource navigators is invaluable. And then, of course, the support through tough situations. One of the frequently asked questions that we receive is, will I have to change policies, or will I have to commit to hiring people in recovery in order to join? The answer is no. We do encourage that you review your policies, especially if you're sitting here right now and you don't know any of the substance use policies offhand. Chances are it's time to re-review them. If not, with the intention of making them a little bit more appropriate for the times and for being a recovery friendly workplace, but just because they could be causing harm for your workplace and they could be costing you a lot of money. One example of that is if your organization has a long wait period, if there's a positive drug screening for a job seeker, for instance, a lot of times that's 6 months. You've paid a recruiter to find an appropriate candidate, and they have identified someone they think is great. They've gotten them to the point where they've interviewed and they're doing a drug screen. So if the option is to put them on the back burner for 6 months, you're losing out on a lot of money you've paid to the recruiter, the time and expertise that you have asked of them. And then, of course, that job seeker is not going to serve your workplace for 6 months. So if they engage with the peer support specialist with our organization and reapply in 3 months for a rescreen in 3 months, that could be a much more productive policy than the 6-month wait period, especially as recovery professionals know that 90 days is a really healthy marker on the recovery journey. And then committing to hiring people in recovery who want to tell you that they're in recovery and talk about recovery certainly will. We don't ask you to ask them to identify themselves, because they are asked to do that in a lot of different ways, especially if there are any co-occurring mental health conditions, or if there's justice involved. There's a lot of boxes on these applications and explanations that they have to give. So if we're not asking you to identify that you're employing X number of people in recovery, because chances are you already are. So we're just trying to create healthier places for them to come. And the where, we do have a commitment for this initiative to serving Wilkes County. And it's not because of any prejudice or judgment about other areas, or that it's mainly because when I provide resources, what I am comfortable with is Wilkes County and what I can provide within Wilkes County. We are working with individuals in Watauga County, Surrey County, Buncombe County. We have been asked to join a Learning Academy cohort that ranges the Appalachians. And then again, I mentioned that we're a part of a community of practice of over 25 states nationwide. So we are contributing to this work, developing and growing in other regions. But right now, what I'm able to offer in terms of a robust program, it's fairly exclusive to Wilkes County. So this is, I mentioned I'd get into the toolkit a little bit more. These are some examples of pages out of our toolkit. We have just a general rundown for if you need to share with other members of your team, what this initiative is about and why you feel like you'd like to join. There's a one-pager for that. That's available to anybody, not just people who have designated. This is the checklist. So you see the letter of intent, training on the toolkit, making a declaration, and then additional components. It looks like a long list, but allowing employees to have access to information about health and wellness, training them when appropriate, potentially joining us for a recovery-based activity once per year. We have sample language, so we try to make this as simple of a process as possible, because we know that right now the business world we're all a little overrun right now, and we want to just make this to where we're meeting you where you are, and it's as simple as possible. So this letter of intent we can email it to you and you can fill in the blanks and get it back to us directly. And that goes for the declaration to staff as well. We love to see customization. We love to see putting your personal touch on. We think that really enhances your workplace culture if you're able to add a little bit to the letter. But if what you have right now is the time to enter your name and get it back to me, that is perfectly acceptable. We include resources about engaging the North Carolina Commerce Reentry Initiative. So what can you benefit, or how can you access the benefits of employing people from the justice involved population? And then here is an example of sample language that we provide for how to communicate concern and how to build these conversations around substance use with your employees. So that is my presentation. I'd love to hear any questions, concerns from you all if we have some time for that.
Okay, well, thank you, Ariana. Does anybody have any questions for her? It sounds like a very wonderful program. I'm very jealous that Wilkes County is only represented here. Hopefully this catches fire and crosses county lines and gets statewide. This is a wonderful resource to have out there. And as a large employer, I would definitely be interested in something like that.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
I am working with people in Watauga County right now. The High Country Reentry Collective and the Mediation and Restorative Justice Center are really interested in bringing this to Watauga County. There are multiple key components to starting an initiative like this. The committee of stakeholders, so recovery professionals, business professionals, workforce development professionals, here in Wilkes County, it was integral for us to have that feedback in order to create this program. Additionally, the resource guide. So not just having that paper guide, as I mentioned, but having people who then can help you to navigate accessing these resources. Treatment can look so different for each person, and accessing treatment can look different. So not just, cold calling treatment centers, but having somebody who's trained and who's actively working with them on your side can be really important. So these are the things we're kind of getting started in other areas, and we're dedicated to supporting these communities and starting their own initiatives. We are piloting Recovery Friendly NC, which will do just that. It'll help us to consult on the formation of other initiatives. We definitely can share resources, but like I said, that navigation piece of having someone there to support you through that is really invaluable.
Sure, understood. Anybody have anything for Ariana? Ariana, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this. We certainly appreciate that, and kudos to the great work that you're doing down in Wilkes County.
Thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely. All right, we will move along to item number 7, a proposed North Carolina Workforce Board realignment. I'm going to turn this over to Keith for some background and color on this, and we'll go forward. Keith.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, and it's great to see each and every one of you. I know it seems like it's been a long time since we've gotten together. We missed our November meeting because it fell on Veterans Day, so that is why we are meeting in January. But a lot of stuff has happened or is planning to happen or is being talked about happening. And to do my due diligence, I need to bring this before you guys as the Workforce Board and make all stakeholders aware of change or proposal, we'll call it a proposal, that was brought to our attention. As you very well know, you are the Workforce Board for the High Country area, covering the 7 counties of Allegheny, Ashe, Wilkes, Watauga, Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey counties. Well, at the state level, there's the NC Works Commission, and they are the Workforce Board for North Carolina. And it is their duty, just as is yours, to provide oversight, to come up with policies and regulations. So at I think it was their what was it, November meeting, or yeah, October meeting, there was talk, and they informed the North Carolina Directors Council that there was going to be a proposal for a study that was going to look at the realignment / alignment and consolidation of workforce boards in North Carolina. The NC Works Commission turned that responsibility and duties over to the Government Alliance. I think I'm pronouncing that committee right. And they are the ones that are conducting this proposal and study, and they are supposed to meet and bring back a recommendation by February 9th. And then the NC Works Commission is supposed to meet in March to take action. What greatly concerned me and concerned other workforce boards and consortium board members and workforce partners across the nation is that this study that they are looking at, the realignment and alignment and consolidation of workforce boards in North Carolina, it would look at taking the current 23 workforce development boards that are in North Carolina, aligning them down to follow the prosperity zones, the 8 prosperity zones in North Carolina. If that proposal, and I'm talking about the study that has been talked about the most, and this is what has been presented to other groups, and really what is gaining or has the most attention. If that alignment or consolidation happens and they go from 23 workforce boards down to 8 in the prosperity zones, by mere fact of mention, if that takes place, that is eliminating 15 workforce boards that are duly appointed and selected by local elected officials. That brought great concern to workforce boards, to consortium board members, to Council of Governments, COGS, local towns, and counties, because it is the notion from, and I'll just tell you how in the high country, with the High Country Workforce Development Consortium Board, they felt that our workforce board meets the needs of business, industry, job seekers, our community partners, our workforce partners, and that we have done a good job providing workforce services in our rural 7-county area. That all of our 7-county areas have common goals and are best suited to be together because we share the same labor market, trends, things of that nature, and that it just made more sense that the High Country retain its current 7-county boundary. Another big thing, one of the big things with realignment is going down from there. That is taking away local control and decision-making and authority from duly local elected officials that appoint the workforce board through the consortium board and other local elected officials. Therefore, the consortium board for the High Country met. I made them aware of this, and that the consortium board is made up of the 7 chief elected officials, either the chairman of the county commissioner board or his designee from the 7 counties. They had a meeting and they asked for us to develop a resolution to make our wishes known and to make it clear that we are in favor of keeping it as it is now with the High Country servicing our 7 counties. I brought this information to the High Country Council of Governments and they also felt and asked Julie Wiggins, the executive director, and her team, which I'm part of, to develop a resolution to there again share and make our wishes known about this. Also, the workforce executive board, they also asked that my staff and I, once again, develop a resolution stating and making our wishes and concerns known that we want to remain the High Country Workforce Development Board and that it cover our 7 counties of which we have been providing great workforce services to. So that is why and I will not read the whole resolution because my good friend Felicia Colbert Setzer once said, yeah, you can all read. And that's why we sent the resolution out ahead of time so that you could review that. But we felt that it was important that this resolution, and the part that I will read is just 1 paragraph, and it states, well, 2 paragraphs, and it states that we are formally requesting that the North Carolina Department of Commerce, the NC Works Commission, retain the boundaries of the High Country Local Workforce Development Area in its final recommendations for statewide realignment or consolidation of local workforce development areas. Also, the last page says that now therefore be it resolved that the High Country Workforce Development Board formally requests to retain its current designation, geographic boundary, appointment entities to carry out WIOA programs, WIOA is Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act programs, and activities, and that we do not support any final recommendation that separates these 7 counties, merges them into a larger areas, or consolidates other local workforce development areas into the High Country Local Workforce Development Area. Going back to, we just want this to get out there, make our position known. It sort of goes back to when you were going to prom. If you didn't ask somebody to go to the prom, nobody knew you wanted them to be their date. Or when you were in elementary school, when you wrote that little note, will you be my boyfriend or girlfriend, check yes or no. It was putting it out there that this is the position that we feel because of the great work that the High Country Workforce Development Board, its service providers, its community partners, its the colleges that are in our area. We have done a great job providing workforce services. And I won't read that to you, but I hope all of you will look in your packet. And this is like our program year in review. This is why we need to stay to our 7 counties. One thing that really stood out was that through our workforce by the numbers, the High Country, we served 991 High Country employers were served by our NC Work system in our 7-county region. 7,665 services were provided to High Country employers. So, you know, the High Country Workforce Development Board and its partners, the NC Work centers, our community colleges, we have not been, and our service providers, Malin Community College and Goodwill Industries of the Northwest, we have not been sitting here just twiddling our thumbs and not doing anything. We have brought about great results, and we continue, and we want to continue to provide those services and to help the High Country area continue to thrive and to achieve success and to be here for our job seekers, our employers, our business and industry. So that is bringing about why we are bringing this to you guys today. And we will need to take action on this. There will need to be a motion and a second to adopt this resolution. As you can see and the maps that we sent, the proposal that has been talked about and that keeps, you know, getting a lot of leeway. When I talk about consolidation and alignment, the proposed 8 prosperity zones with what we are seeing and what's been presented to other groups across the state, it would call for the High Country Workforce Development Board to be consolidated or aligned or realigned with Western Piedmont Workforce Development Board. That's the Hickory area. our good friends down in the Hickory area, my good friend Wendy Johnson, we laughed and talked about this, and she said, Keith, I explain it to you like this. You know, I think you're wonderful. The high country is great. And she said, you know what? We can date and we can go out, but we're not going to move in together. So the executive director down there, Anthony Starr, had the same sentiment, you know. So there's workforce boards out there that are not wanting to consolidate. A lot of my peers I've heard from, and to be honest with you guys, y'all know I'm a straight shooter. I haven't heard of one workforce board or one consortium area that is in favor of being consolidated or realigned. Now, that's what I'm hearing from workforce board directors that have talked to their consortium and their chief elected officials. They are saying, and this came from Assistant Secretary of the Division of Workforce Solutions, Chet Modeshy, told Chief Elected Official Keith Elmore that if the consortium boards are not in favor of realignment, then it would not happen. I take that with a grain of salt. They are the chief local elected officials, and through the WIOA, through the federal regulation, it does say that they would have to agree to the realignment. But long story short, I'm thinking about what is best for our region, what is best for rural counties. And you all know how I feel about rural counties. I'm a big proponent and will always advocate and fight for rural counties. This consolidation realignment would not be good for our workforce area. I think that my recommendation and my personal feeling is that it should remain the same. And that has been what a lot of other people that I've talked to from the consortium board, from the executive committee of the Workforce Development Board, and even the COG board, the High Country Council of Governments board, they felt that it is best that we manage and implement the WIOA funding in our 7-county area. So my ask to you, just like, you know, I think this resolution just lets them know our position, how we feel, and that we're doing great work in the high country area, is to make them aware of we want to keep our 7-county workforce area. A prime example is when President Reagan, during the Cold War, when he told Mikhail Gorbachev, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. We need to always make sure that we are letting people know what we want and the good stuff that we're doing. So just like Reagan said, tear down the wall, we need to let them know that we are not in favor of realignment, alignment, or consolidation of the High Country Workforce Development Board. Mr. Chairman, at this time, I will take any questions about consolidation, realignment, that anybody would like to ask, and at this point in time.
Okay, thank you, Keith, for that wonderful information. I wholeheartedly agree. Are there any questions, comments?
One thing, their next steps or the next actions that they are saying, this was put out in a presentation, and it, nothing's, these dates aren't written in stone. They're not like the 10 Commandments carved out in stone. But where we are now, or what the timeline that we are going on is, the NC Works Commission Chair announced that the Governance and System Alignment Committee would conduct the realignment policy review. That was in November of 2021. Next step would be results of the policy review are provided to the full NC Works Commission. I think that's at the February 9th, 2022 meeting. Then they're saying that next it would happen would be the NC Works Commission meeting to vote on realignment at their March 2022 meeting. Then a realignment letter from the governor, Roy Cooper, is generated based on new commission policy effective July 1, 2023. So that's anticipated as an April 2022 deadline. Then provide technical guidance, regional, local operations, and planning implementation by July 1, 2023. So that's sort of their projected deadline. So what we need to do now is to make our wishes known. I will share with this group the consortium board, which Commissioner John Irwin is on, Keith Elmore, Jerry Powers from Ash, Mr. Welch from Watauga, Blake Vance from Avery, and drawing a blank, Burn Grindstaff. They were all not in favor, and they plan to send a resolution from the consortium board to stating that to the same people. So you're not going in this alone. Also, the High Country Council of Governments is doing a resolution, and even our towns and counties will, in our 7-county area, some of them are adopting this same resolution and going to make their voices heard also.
Okay. Any questions for Keith? All right, I echo his comments. The 991 employers that this board has served and the 7,700 plus customers that we have helped along the way, I would hate to think if we got lost in a fishbowl in some larger group. That's my 2 cents. I think we need to continue doing the mission that we've been charged with, and keep this high country region strong and stable, and our wishes known, just like when these things happen. So, no questions or comments?
Yeah, Keith, have you sent us the resolution?
It was in your agenda packet. Did you not get your workforce agenda packet from Rebecca Ben? It was a long packet. You had to scroll through the other slides, but it was in the email of the agenda packet that Rebecca sent to the board members.
You're muted, Ben.
You're muted, Ben.
Is it below the minutes?
Yes, you got to scroll past there. Yeah.
It's around page 43.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder how to see it.
Did everybody else see the resolution and read it? Any questions on it? The language or anything? Okay.
Okay. All right. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. It's rather short as resolutions go. It's not tiny little sentences that you can't hardly read scrunched into a huge paper. It's actually, it's well written. So at this time,
Chairman, I would like to quote the great Lynette Orbovich when the executive committee was talking. She made the point that probably resonates in a lot of people's mind thought. If it ain't broke, why try and fix it? Now one thing is saying that they're saying that it would bring about more collaboration and economic development, and that right now some workforce boards are spread across 3 prosperity zones. But that was really telling when Lynette made that comment of, if you're doing all these great things, it's not broke, why try and fix it?
Yes, well said. Okay, at this time, I need a motion that we accept this, or move this resolution forward for a formal vote. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Debbie Woodard has moved. Is there a second?
Rich President will second.
One more time, who seconded it?
Rich Voisinette second.
Okay, Rich, thank you. All right, any further discussion before we vote? Hearing none, we will move forward. And again, just like roll call, if you approve it, say yes, or say approved. Jessica Alden,
Approved.
Kathy Barr. Kathy Barr, you're muted. We'll come back to Kathy here shortly. Michael Berkmeyer.
Jeff, as a public committee member, there are certain things that I'm not allowed to vote on. So I think at this time I've got to abstain. If I get an email back from my supervisor, I'll chime back in with my vote. But let me vote as abstain right now.
So noted. Whitney Brazington.
Approved.
Okay, Tara Brosa.
Approved.
Sherry Carpenter.
Approved.
Alicia Colbreth Setzer.
I abstain.
Abstain. Okay, Jeff Dreyer, I approve. Ben Garrett.
I approve.
Edward Henson.
I approve.
Kristen Neubauer, I know you're on now.
Yes, I approve. Sorry that I was late.
No problem. Jason Nunn.
I approve.
Lynette Orbovich. Did she email?
She emailed that she approved.
Perfect. Scott Reese.
I approve.
Jennifer Schaefer.
I approve.
Rich Boysonet.
I approve.
Amber Westall Briggs. Amber, are you still with us? Okay,
I
Debbie
think she
Woodard.
dropped off.
Okay, Debbie Woodard.
I approve.
Okay. So we have two abstentions. Kathy Barr, are you back on? Okay, we've lost her somehow. Just as a point of clarification, I am assuming that majority carries the and adopts.
Yes.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's start this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Rebecca, I have 14 approvals.
Okay, thank you.
All right, resolution passes. Thank you, everybody. It's so important that we can continue this. We'll see where this resolution takes us. Like Keith says, never say never, but at least our voice will be heard and made known with the High Country Workforce Development Board where we stand. So thanks again. All right, moving on to item number 8, we're going to back to Keith for a director's report. Keith.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for supporting the resolution. My director's report for January 13th, 2022. As you notice, you might have been missing the labor market overview. We will send that to you. There was a glitch in it, and Rebecca and I sent it to lead, and they got it corrected, but it was not made in time to fit it into your packet. So unemployment rates. Allegheny County has an unemployment rate of 3.2%. Ashe County has an unemployment rate of 2.6%. Avery County has an unemployment rate of 2.6%. Mitchell County has an unemployment rate of 3.7%. Watauga County has an unemployment rate of 2.5%. Wilkes County's unemployment rate stands at 3.3%. Yancey County's unemployment rate stands at 2.8%. The state of North Carolina is sitting at an unemployment rate of 3.9%. And across the United States, the U.S. Unemployment rate is 4.2%. Part of my update is that we have hired Tony Deal as our new WIOA project director, covering Allegheny, Ashe, Wilkes, and Watauga County. She is a Goodwill employee. Right now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, she's working in the Moxfield, the Davie
County, yes.
Davie County.
Mhm.
Very impressive. You guys will get to see her at the next board meeting. We look forward to her joining the team, and we're expecting great things from her. I do not think we'll be disappointed. She came highly recommended. Kudos to Sherry and her team for having such stellar people and willing to let her transfer out of another area to go into another service area. So we
steal from our own.
very excited. I know that was, Dion probably hated to lose her in the precise area, but we think that she will be a great complement and a great component to our area. I will share with you guys one thing that really made me happy. She shares a love for rural areas. So she was talking my language when she was thinking and stated that she felt like that was one of the big reasons of her wanting to move, to go into management, but she wanted to be in the rural areas of our high country area. So we're looking forward to her start date is the 18th. Is that right, Sherry? I think if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So she will be starting on January 18th. So you guys will be hearing a lot from her in the service area, and we are expecting great things from her. Well, part of my update, you guys heard the High Country Workforce Development Board is going to be an early adopter for the Recover Friendly Work Site through the Wilkes Recovery Revolution. Another thing is my executive staff and I talked, Misty and I, we are extending the grant fund to serve dislocated workers through our COVID emergency grant fund. We had met our benchmarks and we had served the number that we said we were going to serve, but there was money left over. I talked to Alfreda Bryant at the state level and asked her, was this something that the state was wanting to close out? Because if that was the case, then we would have needed to send our money back, the leftover money. She told me that by no means was the state wanting to end it. If we felt that we could still utilize those funds and help people, then she said that that would be fine. I'm cautious. I did ask her, I said, now, this isn't going to look bad if and when she told me that we'd met our benchmarks and our numbers, I said, okay, well, everything else is gravy. We were able to utilize and do what we said we were going to do. So if we do anything above and beyond, that's just icing on the cake. But with talking with Misty and Deborah, we felt that to do due diligence and that we should hold on to those funds and not send them back, even though we had served our need and we reached our goal. We felt that with this crazy thing called COVID, that we might be able to help some more. So we talked to our service providers, Pam Wilson at Malin, and with Sheila Patrick with Goodwill Industries. So we are going to keep that dislocated worker COVID fund money and see what good stuff we can do in the months ahead. The state also got an extension. So we are following the guidelines and hope that we can do some good work with that funding. That concludes my portion, but you know, I always make myself look good because I call on other people and make them part of my update. So at this time, my executive staff, Misty, do you have any updates for the board?
No, sir, I do not. Thank you.
Rebecca, do you have any updates for the board?
No, I do not. Sorry, I was trying to start the video back up. No, I do not. Just a reminder that we still have incumbent worker training funds available if businesses are interested in those training grants.
Okay, thank you. Deborah, do you have anything to update the board on?
I don't have anything to add today. I just want to thank you all for being here, and I'm happy to be working alongside you.
Thank you. All right, well, no updates from my executive staff. So we'll move on to the region updates from our service providers, starting with Pam Wilson for the counties of Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey, with Malin being the service provider. Pam, would you give us an update on your area?
I'll be glad to. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just tell you about some of the good things that's been going on since our last meeting in September. Since that time, we have started 14 new OJTs for a total of 16. That's on the job training projects. 4 of those are for youth, which is, as far as youth goes, is kind of a record for us. Yeah. And the money spent on that will certainly go to meet our goal that we have to meet on youth work-based learning expenditures. But with all those, that comes to about $41,000 to date that we have put in employers' hands or have given them to help train their employees. So we're very glad to be able to benefit our local employers that way. A lot of these are smaller employers that have struggled just like everyone else during this COVID. So they are very appreciative of all that. We've enrolled 23 new clients into our WIOA programs. We've been able to reach 26 measurable skill gain goals, which for WIOA, that is a performance measure that's looked at each year. So, and we've had at least 8 that have finished up what they were doing and that are now working and exiting from our programs. Staff have been working to do follow-ups with EAI clients and with other job seekers that have been coming into the center. We've done a large number of those over the past few months. Just an example, in November alone, we did 70 of those. Just today, we hosted a job fair for Department of Corrections in both our Yancey and Mitchell offices. We've done 3 presentations to adult education orientation classes and 4 presentations to community college classes about our programs, trying to get the word out there of what all we have to offer. We've also had 2 meetings with our Blue Ridge Academy, which is in Avery County and is an alternative school there for Avery County Public Schools. And we are developing some services there to help the students get out into the workforce and to learn about working. So we'll be continuing and expanding on those projects. We've attended 2 business after hours and done 1 presentation to our local Lions Club. I'm hoping to talk to a lot of our civic organizations because they're so involved in our communities that I think that that will be a good way to get the word out about a lot of our services too. And I'll update you a little bit about a couple of new employers coming. We've got Structall in Avery County that we've been working with for a few months. They had actually hoped to already be up and running, but they have run into a few permit issues. But they are still planning to come, and hopefully any day we'll be ready to go on that. We also have Little Leaf Farms in Yancey County. I talked to our local EDC director about that, and that's been an ongoing project actually over the last couple of years. And it looks like that they will begin construction in 2023, but their design for their facility there has been completed. So, and if no one has questions, if you have questions, feel free to ask, but that's all I have.
Thank you, Pam. That's great work. And I'm really delighted on those OJTs and the youth work experience. As she pointed out to you guys, those are big because those are performance measures of how we are judged at the state and federal level of our WIA performance. So on behalf of the board and everyone, keep up the good work. Tell your staff, keep up the good work. And we appreciate everything that you do for the High Country region and certainly the counties of Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey County. Next, Charity Patterson-Hamber, will you give us an update of operations from Allegheny, Ash, Wilkes, and Watauga County?
I'll be happy to. How much time do I have? Because we have a lot here since September. But before I go into all the center updates, I'm going to ask Mary Jolly to give updates on WIOA.
Thank you, Charity. So for January, we already have 2 new enrollments, for 10 new enrollments. So we've been pretty busy down here the last 2 weeks. We have 4 OJTs going. We're going to start our first WEX in Allegheny sometime next week, and we've got a possible 2 more work experience coming in. It should be in Wilkes and Watauga, so we're super excited about that.
Good.
Okay, so thanks, Mary. I'm going to start in Allegheny County. And of course, as you guys can see, I'm working from home, so I'm going to be looking down a lot because I have it all listed down. So please forgive me for reading, Miss Felicia. In Allegheny County on November the 3rd, the NC Works Career Center hosted a job fair at the Wilkes Community College campus in Sparta. 9 businesses participated, and we had 21 job seekers, which to us was outstanding. Some of the employers that were there were Parkdale Mills, NAPCO, Pioneer Eclipse, Allegheny County, the Sheriff's Office, the ABC Store, Appalachian District Health, Allegheny Group Homes, and Genesis Healthcare. So that's the first multi-employer job fair that we've had there in a while. So we were very excited about that. In Ashe County on September 21st and 23rd, career advisors presented 3 different ACA classes on the Ashe campus of Wilkes Community College over a 2-day period. We talked about some of the services that we offer in the center: training, education, career development, job prep, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. The students are going into the career development section of their ACA course. So these presentations were very well received by the students and the faculty. On September 28th, we teamed up with the wonderful Kathy Barr with the Ashe County EDC for a job fair at the Family Central building in Jefferson. We had 13 businesses that participated, and this was our second multi-business job fair in 3 months for Ashe County. And so we had a total of about 50 job seekers that came out with both. So, you know, with everything going on right now, we were excited about that. And the employers were excited about it too. We had several job offers during those job fairs. In Watauga County on September the 15th, the NC Works Career Center participated in the 2021 Watauga High School Senior Career Fair. So NC Works was able to set up a table in the gym along with the Sheriff's Department, the Marines, the community college, and a lot of other community partners. We were also able to lead 8 20-minute workshop sessions for the seniors who were divided into groups of 50 because of COVID. NC Works walk the seniors through job searching, interview preparation, and offer other tips of professionalism. We also presented all of the services NC Works has to offer. So the seniors really seem to take advantage of those services, and we've had a few reach out to the center from that. We're currently in the process of dealing with about 10 individuals from Hospitality Mints. They're going through TAA and RTAA. Unfortunately, in the Watauga Center, we have lost 2 Goodwill employees. As Keith mentioned, we lost Jessica Greer, and we also lost Scott Hinkson, but that's okay because like Keith and Sherry said, we have Tony that will be starting on the 18th, and we are looking forward to welcoming her. In Wilkes County, we had a recruitment event for Paramount Staffing on September 29th. We attended a Jumpstart event at Wilkes Central, where career advisors spoke to students about the services offered in the centers, and we helped look over their resumes, help get them prepared for the future and their success. We volunteered with Second Harvest Food Bank on October the 28th at Wilkes Community College. We were able to assist in handing out food to 425 families in the community, as well as information about NC Works. And Second Harvest let us know that they'll be coming back to do future events, and we'll be planning to attend those as well. On November the 23rd, NC Works Wilkes completed our 6th Working Smart session on the Boomer campus of Eckerd Connects. We have now had 39 youth to complete the program with certificates. And for those that don't know, Eckerd Connects is a short-term juvenile justice gender-specific residential academy for ages 13 to 17 that offers rehabilitative services. On November the 9th, NC Works Wilkes held a Veterans Resource Fair at the Center for Veterans Week. Partners like Goodwill Veteran Services, Wilkes Recovery Revolution, Wilkes Register of Deeds, Think a Vet Program, Wilkes Public Library, the County Services Officer, and Veteran Services of the Carolinas were in attendance. We are also, along with the High Country Workforce Development Board, an early adopter of the Recovery Friendly Workplace, and we are very excited about the work that we are doing with Wilkes Recovery and Ariana Williamson. The centers have been promoting many different employer events, and what we're working on doing in Allegheny, Ashe, Watauga, and Wilkes County, kind of, making sure that we're all on the same page in the centers. So we are going through and updating career center operational procedures just to ensure that we're all on the same page. I think that's it. Sorry for saying a lot because I'm not used to reading. I'm used to just being able to know what we've been doing, but I had to write it all down because it's been a while since we met. Just know that we are over here. We're working hard. We are providing services virtually for those customers that do not want to come into the center, and we're just moving along. I don't think that we've missed a beat.
Thank you, Charity. And thank your staff and tell them that we greatly appreciate all of their efforts. Glad to see that there's been enrollments and Goodwill is taking off and doing work experience and youth work experience. So keep up the good work and tell them to keep at it. Next, commerce updates. Felicia Setzer, do you have any updates for us?
Now, you know I do.
When has Felicia Setzer not had a word to say, huh?
The same time that Keith Devereaux has nothing to say. Good afternoon, all. First, let me say thank you to the staff for all of the amazing things that they are doing. And when I say staff, I mean all staff, because we don't look at WIOA Title I and Title III. We don't look at that. We look at all staff. And with that being said, we are intentionally making referrals to WIOA for training and helping them to achieve their goals, because we all have the same goals. So let me make sure that everybody understands that. we are continuing our efforts of reaching out to employers to provide services. So you heard Charity talking about all of the multi-job recruitment events and things like that. That is what we do. We want to ensure that employers know that we're here for them. You know, you look at the news and you see the great migration of people quitting jobs, and everybody gets all up in arms, but they're quitting jobs to go to better paying jobs. So because of that, we also want to encourage employers to look at your culture. Look at exactly what's happening at home. As you try to recruit other people to come to work for you, make sure that you're retaining the folk that you already have, and that you have some loyalty to those people as well. So we want to talk to employers about things like that. We want to talk to them about looking at that culture. And sometimes that's not easy to do, but we want to help you through that as well. We also are looking at ensuring that we're perfecting our ability to provide virtual services to the masses. Because, you know, as we look at COVID, and COVID begins to develop into all of these different strains and things, we have to still provide those services. So as Charity was talking about, we are looking at perfecting providing those virtual services. So on the commerce side, an ask went out to the centers this couple of weeks, asking what are the needs, the equipments they need to help to perfect that virtual, the ability to provide virtual services. So we're doing that. And the third thing I want to talk about finally, because I don't know if the board has heard, I know some people on the board has heard, because of budget, shrinking budgets on the federal level, the Department of Commerce, DWS, we will be having a reduction of force. And so the emails went out yesterday to our staff, and we are just looking at that process and trying to see how that process will shake out. We don't know how it will affect the local offices. We're hoping that it does not have to affect it, but we are looking at that. And I wanted to make sure that the board heard that directly from me, so that you know that, and I've spoken with Keith, he and I spoke yesterday after the email went out, and we will be looking at, looking at what we need to do strategically to ensure that we are providing those services to the people who need it. Just like any other budget crunches, federal government is cutting money and we have to adjust, but please believe, even with that adjustment, we definitely will continue to do what we need to do for the people in the high country. So that is my update. I'll tell you what I told my managers earlier. I was out on medical leave, and so I was on Percocets, and I'm on that right now. So I'm gonna stop talking, because no telling what may come out with that. Jeff, anything can happen. But just know that we are working at providing the best services that we can, and we're looking at, once all of this shakes out with commerce, what we need to do to stay on top. So that's where we are. Thank you.
Felicia, let's talk allocations. What type of money can you agree to give us, since you're, so that now's the time for me to hit you up for all the big bucks that I want, huh?
Again, I can say none, and we can move forward. I'm not that, I'm not that medicated.
Thank you, Felicia, for your update. Also, Mr. Chairman, I will tell the board you will be getting the ones of signature sheet to sign and to attest that you voted for the resolutions. We will get that sent out to everyone so that we can attach that. We felt that that would give more, would be more beneficial when they actually see that board members signed in this public sector, private sector industry. So we will get your individual signature sheets supporting the resolution sent to you, as well as the new labor market overview. And Mr. Chairman, that completes my director's report. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. I thought at the end of that resolution that was sent out that the signature sheets were attached.
They were attached.
Okay.
They were, okay.
Yeah. So if everyone would please sign those and scan them back to Rebecca, that would be extremely helpful. Okay, we've moved along to public board member announcements. I'm sorry, but board member announcements. Are there any from the board member announcements? Okay. As far as chairman comments, you know, we're starting a new year, 22. COVID is still with us. We're learning how to adapt. We're learning how to live. We know how to protect ourselves. It's still breaking through and it's affecting a lot of people. Hopefully we will find ourselves out of this one day. I hate to hear a reduction in force anywhere. So thoughts and prayers are with those people affected. What we do here at this board is very relevant. Don't ever think for a second it's not. What you do, your participations in supporting of staff and these centers and the communities that you serve is so important. So never lose sight of that. I'm very proud of the work that we do, and I hope our resolution and all the consortium boards across the state are in agreement with us, and I'll say this silliness stops. Now that's silliness, that's my opinion. I guess it's probably not silly to someone. But we're doing important work here, and I would hate to see that end. So having said that, any other comments from board members? Okay, we'll move along to the public comment period. Do we have any public comment?
No public comments were received.
No public comments received. Wonderful. All right. Next High Country Workforce Development Board meeting will be Thursday, March 10th at 2:30 p.m. I'm sure it will still be Zooming as much as this Omicron variant is raging. I'm sure that will continue on. If that changes, we'll let you know. Anything else for the greater good while we're together? All right, so good to see you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's have a great new year. Let's start it off right, and we'll see you in the neighborhood. Take care, everybody. We are adjourned.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.